Today we are going to talk about Indus Water Treaty. The treaty is specifically going to help students who are going for the interview, but it is helpful as an understanding for everybody. In this video, we are going to cover the history of the treaty, features of the IWT, why Indus Water Treaty has become a problem for India, and the expected questions which can be asked in the interview. Let's talk about the history of Indus Water Treaty. As you can see in the physical map here, the IWT covers or drains a majority of Pakistan. The northeastern as well as the southeastern region of Pakistan is drained directly by Indus and its tributaries. That's why it gains so much importance for both Pakistan as well as India. It became a major issue after independence of India and partition of India into India and Pakistan. The issue or the treaty is important for India as well because it drains the northern part of India. States like J&K, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, and Uttarakhand are directly drained by the Indus and its tributaries. What are the features of the IWT? The IWT was signed in 1960 between Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and Pakistan President Ayub Khan. The treaty is considered unique because rather than dividing the waters of the treaty, we partitioned the rivers, the tributaries of the Indus River between India and Pakistan. As per the treaty, western rivers, which were Indus, Chenab, and Jhelum, were given to Pakistan, and the eastern rivers, which includes Beas, Ravi, and Satluj, were given to India. What this meant was that Pakistan has more rights over the western rivers and India has more rights over the eastern rivers. Right now, India has full rights over the eastern rivers and Pakistan is not able to use these rivers for majority of its drainage. The western rivers have become a major problem for India according to the treaty because of three major issues. Number one, irrigation. Number two, provision of creating only run of the river hydro projects. And the result is that it's a problem for Jammu and Kashmir. Let's take an example to understand this. Suppose this is the river and this is the run of the river hydro power project that is being built by India over this river. A run of the river hydro project means that the dam cannot stop the natural flow of the river. It has to allow majority of the flow of the river to be maintained for the downstream areas, which is Pakistan. Secondly, because it cannot stop a majority of the flow, it is not able to utilize the water for irrigation. It is able to utilize only a minimal amount of water for irrigation from these projects. Secondly, because these are run of the river projects, so India is not able to generate a lot of hydro electricity from these projects. You can explain that by comparing J&K and Himachal Pradesh. In Himachal Pradesh, major projects over rivers has provided it so much hydroelectricity that it has become one of the major surplus regions of India, whereas J&K is not able to generate hydroelectricity from its rivers and therefore it lacks in electricity availability to a major extent. Another problem that run of the river hydro projects have generated in that region is desilting. The silt that these rivers carry with themselves is huge in amount and therefore it requires regular desilting. Because these hydro projects are run of the river, so India cannot store a large amount of water behind these dams. Not availability of storage facility results in a problem of silting, wherein a lot of silt is collected behind the dam, and India has to desilt these areas regularly in order to maintain the flow. What this has become a huge problem because it is a costly process and a regular process. Why is this a problem for Jammu and Kashmir? This is a problem because of two major issues. One is irrigation and second is power. Now, as you all know, that power is a major determinant of development in any region. It creates jobs directly and also helps the people indirectly by providing them facilities which help in their advancement. Lack of irrigation facilities also result in suffering for farmers of Jammu and Kashmir. So it is a problem for both farmers as well as common people through power. After understanding the issues of Indus Water Treaty, let's come to the questions. The following questions can be expected in the interview. The board can ask you, do you think Indus Water Treaty should be revised? Yes, it should be revised because of the problems that it brings for India, which I've explained before. Should India go for water wars with Pakistan? No, India should not go for a water war. The reason is that if we use water as a war strategy regularly with Pakistan, then it can trigger a conventional or a nuclear war with the country. Other methods like the surgical strikes which were carried out or various other diplomatic and international methods can be used rather than using water as a method of troubling Pakistan. How is Indus Water Treaty disadvantageous for India? I have explained this. Western rivers cannot be used, and so the northern states of India are suffering. How can we resolve Kashmir issue? Now, this is a very difficult question to answer. Resolving Kashmir issue is one of the major problems that India has been facing since independence. You are expected to have your own version of answer, but keep in mind that your answer should be practical, should be rational, and should be objective. If it does not, if your argument is not rational, is not objective in nature, then they will put you in a tight spot in the interview. Especially if you belong to the northern regions like J&K or Himachal Pradesh or Uttarakhand, you are expected to have some insights about this issue of resolving the Kashmir problem.